行くぞ! Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Ninja Guide video. This one we're going to be talking about a lot of things actually. This one's a pretty important one in general because this one's going to include the 6.1 Ninja rotation. But before we get started into that, I want to give you guys some tips on Ninja to get you started. Now these are important tips every Ninja player should know before they even get started into the rotation, and these tips are going to help you long term and they're sweet and short, so let's dive right in real quick. Step number 1, never use Duton on single targets. If you use Duton on single targets, you effectively lose a Mudra charge and you actually do way less DPS on a single target. Now, if it's on dungeons and multiple mobs, you should use that. Remember that now you can't use hide pre-pulled Duton, so whenever you're trying to do the AoE rotation on dungeons, you can no longer do that. The way it was before was that you would press your, let me get out of combat, you would press your Huton, you would press your Duton, like this, and then as soon as you put Duton, you would hide immediately, like that. You can no longer do that because as you just saw, the Duton completely disappeared. So you can no longer do this, you can no longer pre-pull with Duton, and don't use it on single targets in general. I've been in Alliance raids, I see Ninja players do this all the time. Don't do it, it's bad. Tip number 2, use Shikuchi maximum range for ground targeting. This is going to change your life because this way you can immediately Shikuchi without exceeding the maximum range possible. I'm going to show you how to do this now. You go to character configuration, you go over to target, and then from here, you scroll down and then you see this option, limit ring movement to targeting range, press action twice to execute. This makes it so that you press the Shikuchi button twice instead of left click or whatever, you just double tap it. It's that simple. Limit ring movement makes it so that it cannot exceed the maximum range possible, so always have this option on if you're playing Ninja. It's going to be a game changer when you're raiding, when doing anything really. It's perfect. Tip number 3, use a Shikuchi macro. The Shikuchi macro allows you to immediately jump back to the boss with one press of a button, and this will put you on top of the boss hitbox, directly in the center. If you're in a position where the boss is outside the arena or his middle hitbox is outside the arena and the other half is in, for example, World of Darkness and Crystal Tower or E9S Umbra, these fights, sometimes the boss would go outside the arena. Don't worry, you won't fall off the map if you do this, because Shikuchi cannot be ground targeted outside. That's why it's called ground target. It cannot be aimed outside the ground. So if I do this, it will never, see, it will never work at all. So don't worry about that. The Shikuchi macro behaves similarly to the standard Shikuchi. It's just the macro allows it to be super swift when trying to get inside the hitbox of a boss. So as disengaging, I've decided I want to hop back in and then I go just like that and do damage, for example. This is going to be useful in many scenarios, and in many scenarios where there's a chariot mechanic and you want to get back on the boss quickly, so you don't have to use ground targeting. Ground targeting is very useful for other stuff where it doesn't require you to target the boss and avoid mechanics. So in my opinion, you should have 2 versions of this. The macro is as follows, and I'm going to put it in the description below and in the comments as well, so you can copy paste it yourself. This is the macro for Shikuchi, right here. This will be in the comments and the description. Another quick thing, we no longer need to use the max pull macro. We before had a macro for max pull, and it was fine and dandy. It was cool. Basically, it would make it so that you can pre-pull Duton at the maximum range possible, but because pre-pull Duton is no longer a thing, this is pretty much fucking useless. So yeah, we never use this anymore, and that was nice to have before, but pretty much get it out of your hotbar. You're done with this one. Another tip for Ninja, when you have Trick Attack up, when it goes under 20 seconds, you would prep your Suton. That's the general idea of when you would prep Suton. You don't use Suton when Trick Attack is back up at 0 seconds, because now if you see our Mudra charges, they're not at max, meaning that you're gonna essentially miss a potential Raton inside Trick. See, by the time it comes back up, because your Mudra is at 20 seconds, and if you use Suton when Trick Attack is under 20 seconds, you're gonna have a maximum of 2 charges at that point, and you're gonna do a lot of damage inside Trick. So keep this in mind. The magic number is below 20 seconds. Try not to go too far below, like 10. Probably like 15 to 20 seconds is a good time to use Suton to prep your Trick. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with that out of the way, now we can talk about the rotation, we can talk about Mug and Trick, and essentially how to use the rotation, what's the opener, what's odd windows, what's even windows, what's the best food, what's the BIS, all that stuff. We're gonna get into it now. First, we'll talk about BIS. The items, I still don't have the chest piece. Well, for P4S, I'm still trying to get it. Hopefully I get it this week. But essentially, you're going to be using the chest piece from P4S, and you're going to want to get that. So when you do, it's going to be Pog. The weapon is Asphodelis Daggers with direct hit materias, Augmented Radiant, which gives you lots of damage with determination on both materias. I have a pentamelded chest, you don't need to do this. You can just use the P4S one, or you can use a classical right now and augment it, because you have the option to augment classical gear now with 6.1, so you can do that. But yeah, you don't have to pentameld it or anything like that. I just went pentameld because I'm an actual tryhard. Gloves, Asphodelis with crit and direct hit. Legs, determination and determination. This is Asphodelis as well. We have Augmented Radiant with double determination. We have Asphodelis with double determination earring. Necklace, critical hit and direct hit. Augmented Radiant bracelet with determination and direct hit. We have crit for Radiant ring, and the other ring is Asphodelis with 36 determination. I will be putting the build in the description below. If you don't want to just see this video again, just click in the link below in the description. You'll see the entire build, you'll see the entire materia, which is considered BIS. Okay, so let's get into the rotation now. Now it's time to get into the rotation. I'm gonna this is gonna be a pretty long version of this is gonna be a pretty long part of the video, so I'll be putting up images to kind of help you guys out, because there's a lot to it. You have bunch and pryos, you have certain abilities that you want to use over certain abilities inside Trick Attack, and I'm going to explain all those things. First, let's talk about the opener. We'll take it step by step so we don't overwhelm you guys, okay? Because there's a lot going on here. Okay, first, we start with the opener. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to put us in a scenario where we're in a raid situation where there's going to be countdown, and you should always play with countdown in savage raids and stuff like that. In normal raids, people aren't going to do it, so just pray they don't pull early or too late, because you're going to lose Huton seconds. So let's go with 15 seconds. Okay, 15 seconds, you prep your Huton. Okay, use it when the Mudra charge is over. We'll use it like now. Hide. When it hits 5 seconds, prep your Suton. As soon as it hits 5 seconds. Okay. Suton Kasatsu. 1 pot. 2 Mug Bunshin. Kamaitachi. Trick Aeolian. Dwad Ranryu. Okay. Rayton. TCJ. Ten. Chi. Jin. Meisui. Raiju Baba. Raiju Baba. 1. Inside Busha, and then pop your Rayton. And then Raiju. And then you're gonna press 2, 3. That's when your pop finishes, fit in the Baba. And that's essentially when your trick finishes and when your pop finishes. So let's talk about that real quick and what just happened. If you recall in the video, we used Kamaitachi into Trick into Aelion. There's a reason behind this. The reason being is that Aelion would actually do more damage with Bunshin than Kamaitachi would. So you would prioritize Aelion inside Trick in that situation rather than Kamaitachi. Now, if you weren't under Bunshin, Kamaitachi got buffed, by the way. It's at 600 potency. So Kamaitachi would actually deal more damage than Aelion's Edge outside of Bunshin. So this is important. This is the first step to understanding the prio system of a rotation. You're going to use certain abilities over other abilities inside your burst window because they are going to do more damage. Kamaitachi does more damage than Aelion. If under Bunshin, Aelion does more damage. And that's basically the general rule that we're going to be using there. This applies between Rayton and Raiju as well. So you're going to see in a lot of our, in most of our, in our rotation, we're going to be prioritizing Raiju over Rayton if we're under Bunshin. But if we're not under Bunshin, we prioritize Rayton first. So we will, if I have double Raijus and I have one Rayton, I will use the Rayton because it will do more damage than the Raiju, and then you basically essentially use the entire, you dump the other Raijus in. Okay, so now I'm going to do the entire rotation for like 6 minutes or so you kind of see how everything lines up, and then make your own judgment on it. So here we go. Let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna go over the entire rotation here step by step. And we are under the assumption that there's gonna be a countdown, as there should be, always. You prep Huton, and then you prep Suton when the countdown reaches 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, when it reaches 1, you throw down Suton, Kasatsu into 1. After you press 1, you're gonna pot. If you don't have pot or whatever, you're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna press 1. And then 2, mug. Here, you pop your mug. Sorry about that. My video player went a bit stupid there. So let's go over that again. Suton, Kasatsu. 1, pot. 2, mug, bunshin. Kamaitachi, Trick, Alien, Dwad, Hyosha Ryu, and then Raiton, TCJ, Tenchi Jin, Meisui, Raiju Bava. Here we prioritize Raiju over Raiton because we're under Bunshin. And as you can see, our trick attack is just about to run out. So we're going to use that last trick time to put in 1 GCD with Spinning Edge. At that time, prepping a Raiton there would make it run out, and you won't be able to get the Raiton inside trick. So then we Raiton, and then Raiju, and then here we're just going to do GCDs, right? So we're going to do GCDs here, and then once you see your Huton drop under 30 seconds, you would Armor Crush here. As long as you do Armor Crush before trick is up, you're good. But it's very important to do that, because you don't want to Armor Crush inside trick. Okay, so now we look at our trick attack. It's under 20 seconds. We're going to prep a Suton. Always prep it when it hits under 20 seconds. This way we can get 2 Raitons inside trick. We prep Kasatsu as well when it comes up. But remember to always use Kasatsu after Suton, not before. Okay, so then we True North Armor Crush Trick. This is the odd window, okay? This is a trick attack without mug, okay? So there is no mug in this, all right? So we're gonna Hyosha Ryu, Dream Within a Dream, Raiton, Raiju, pop another Raiton. See, that's the 2 Raitons thing I was talking about. See that? If you didn't pre-prep Suton, you would only have 1 Raiton inside trick, meaning less damage. So that's the odd window. Keep in mind, we refer odd window is when you don't have mug. When mug is available, it would be even window. So now we use Bunshin. You always use Bunshin every time it's up, so keep that in mind. With the 1, 2, 3s, make sure you Bavakakra, never overcap on Ninki. Now this is the even window coming up, so I'm trying to burn Ninki. Prep Suton. Trick is under 20 seconds, so we do that. Armor Crush before trick is up, always. See, I'm here, I'm dumping Ninki because mug gives me Ninki. Kasatsu, as soon as it's up, double weave Kasatsu and Babakakra. Okay, here, this is the important part. Here, you have to make a decision whether you have Bunshin or not. Okay, so trick is almost up, right? 1 second. So, because we don't have Bunshin right now, we don't need to use Alien under trick. Here, we have the choice between Alien and Kamaitachi. Kamaitachi will do more damage than Alien when no Bunshin is there. So you will Kamaitachi inside trick here, okay? As opposedly, when when Bunshin is up, you would Kamaitachi trick and then Alien, if Alien is available for the next GCD. If it's like a Gust Slash or something, don't care about that too much. You would just Kamaitachi by default. Okay, so now even window. Alien. Right here. With mug. This is very important. I'm going to talk about this. Our mug is up. You're probably wondering, why the hell didn't you just use it the moment it went up? You know, it's a raid buff. Here's why. Because in the opener, we use it after 1 GCD. And here, you want to actually delay it to line up with other buffs. Okay? So here, we don't use mug until after Alien and when trick is available. See, now when trick and mug are both available, this is when you use double weave on both. So after Alien, I press mug trick, Kamaitachi, Bavakakra, Hyosha Ryu, Dream Within a Dream, Raiton, TCJ. Boom. And then the same thing, TCJ, Dispel Suton with Meisui. Here, we prioritize, see what I did here? Because we're not under Bunshin, Just gonna show that again after TCJ. TCJ. Main Suite. Here, we don't use Raiju like we did in the opener. We're using other shit because we don't have Bunshin. And because we don't have Bunshin stacks, we're gonna prioritize Rayton. Rayton would do more damage, and then you Raiju. See, now Trick just finished. So we put in the most amount of damage possible in that window. The rest is just spam Raiju until your mug is up. See, I pull my mouse here. Boom. All the Raijus are inside mug there. And now we're gonna Armor Crush. Boom. It's very important to Armor Crush before Trick is up. As you just saw, my Huton dropped to like 10 seconds there. So that's why you want to make sure your Huton is always up. And then we're just doing GCDs here, making sure we Armor Crush to prep up our Trick, and then we prep Suton. Trick's under 20 seconds. You get the idea. Same thing here. We're going to Alien into Bava. Here, this is an odd window. It's not going to include Mug, so this is the odd window burst. Now you see here we have Bunshin. Okay, now we have Bunshin. So here we have options. Look, we're Alien and Kamaitachi. You see, I'm already mashing Kamaitachi because I know I'm under Bunshin. This means I would Kamaitachi Trick into Alien, and Alien will do more damage than Kamaitachi would inside Trick. So here, Kamaitachi Trick Alien into Baba Kakra because we don't have Dwad, and then Hyosharan Ryu Dwad. And then Rayton here. Here, since you're under Bunshin, you prioritize Raiju over Rayton, but because I'm not under any stress of time, I just used 2 Raytons, and then I have enough time to use both the Raijus inside Trick, and there you go. And then just 1, and then you're good. And that was an odd window there, where you had Bunshin. So if you had Bunshin, as you just saw, we prioritized Alien over Kamaitachi inside Trick window. And we used Kamaitachi before the actual GCD. And there you go. And now even windows coming up. So we're continuing to do damage in our prep Suton. We're waiting on that double weave for Mug and Trick. Armor Crush, make sure you're never overcapping on Ninki. Kasatsu's about to be up, so we Kasatsu right here. Okay, I'm getting ready for Mug and Trick, and Mug and Trick. There we go. Alien into Bava Kakra, Ranryu Dwad. Here again, this is without Bunshin. Let me just go over the steps again. So Mug Trick, Alien Bava Kakra, Hyosha Ranryu Dream Within a Dream, Rayton. Here, there's a reason why I Bava Kakra'd here instead of TCJ'd immediately, but you can just TCJ here. You're at 50 Ninki. The Meisui gives 50 Ninki, so you would be at max Ninki at the time. The way to get around this is once you Rayton, you can Bava Kakra into Raiju. This is completely fine. Into TCJ, into Meisui, and then after Meisui you would prop a Rayton, and then Bava Kakra. The reason I Bava Kakra here and not just wait for Bunshin is because we're inside Trick window and I need to use all my burst. And see, the Raiju, use the last Raiju, and Mug just ran out. All inside Raiju. And honestly, that's really it, guys. That is the rotation. This is how it's done. You line up Mug and Trick together, and like I said, Mug and Trick in the opener. You will delay Mug until you use Alien, so you can double weave Mug and Trick together. And that's the general idea. Don't worry, your buffs actually line up perfectly with other 120 buff windows. And that really is it, guys. I'll catch you hopefully on the next one. I hope this guide helped out, especially with the step-to-step process. Ninja, there's a lot to Ninja, man. There is a lot. So if you guys want to see us play Ninja, we PvP Ninja, we play raids. This is like raid rotation, stuff like that. I do ultimates, I do Savage. Tag along on twitch.tv/Alninio9. We stream over there. Night times, always evenings for European time, and in American time, afternoon. So I'll catch you guys hopefully on the next one. Have yourself a good one, and peace out, asesinos. I'll catch you on the next one.